he's getting applauded as he deserves. But I suppose it was like us at QPR, we was everyone's second team, and then when with the money coming, we started spending the millions. Everyone loved to hate us, and I think that's what happened with Chelsea with Abramovich's money coming in. Everyone loved to hate them. Now they can't spend, and they're bringing through the youth, and then now they're doing so well for the national team for England. People are starting to warm to them because they've got a manager that speaks well. He does well. He wants to bring through the youth. They really want Chelsea to do well with other people.
What has he changed, Frank Lampard, from last season? What has he brought to this side? He's obviously got a great personality, and he's been in the game for such a long time. He knows a football match like some of the best in the game. But I want to know what he's done to make Chelsea so adventurous, so entertaining, as compared to what we've seen for the last few years.
He's gone back to basics, as in he's got the team well organised when they're in possession and out of possession. They've got younger players in there with enthusiasm, and he's got a likeability factor. And all the best managers and coaches I've played for, that's the main thing. You need a likeability factor. So the players trust you and they want to play for you, and that's what he's got with these younger players and older players in the team as well.
Sean Dyche has said Frank Lampard is certainly putting his stamp and personality on Chelsea, and that's something we can say about Sean Dyche and Burnley. His personality is stamped all over the field at Turf Moor, all over this team as well. Big loss to have no Chris Wood today, but still they are a side that will look to compete. How do Burnley win this game?
But when you say like people historically think they do well against the top six, they probably do better away from home than they do at home, because there's no pressure on them to attack when they're away from home. So they can be solid in their 4-4-2, and they work so well on set pieces. And sometimes you're caught between a rock and a hard place at home, because once the fans start going, you want more men forward, and you leave yourself open for a counter. So it'd be to treat it like an away game. It's sitting there in the 4-4-2, look to your two forwards in Barnes and J-Rod to try and get a goal, and then work on your set pieces, which Chelsea could be vulnerable with.
Of course, famously winning against Chelsea at the Bridge back in August 2017 by 3-2, Burnley, so they can do it. They just often do it here. Let's hear from the two managers, shall we? Sean Dyche of the Clarets and Frank Lampard of the Blues.
Yeah, generally I think we're in decent shape. I think we didn't get a result last weekend, but I think it was a good performance. We're not naive enough to know that you've got to keep your foot like that, especially when you're coming across sides like Chelsea, good side in good form.
I respect them completely. In terms of, you say, scary, I think they have a very strong way of playing, that they know they're well drilled. They're very efficient in how many times they get the ball into the box. With the two strikers, I think, give you big problems. I think they're fantastic, the two strikers, the way they play together, whether they're fit or whoever his choices up front are. So it's a tough match, yeah.
Certainly people I know in the game have felt that we look like a more rounded side, the way we're delivering performances. And so I've been pleased with that. I think there's every year that you stay in the Premier League is another year almost where it will give you just slightly more attention, slightly more respect, whatever word you wish to use. And so I think that rubs off on people. And so I think we're kind of to that level where people think we should have a chance in delivering and trying to get results. And so therefore they adjust their thinking. And I agree.
Huge respect to Sean for what he's done, because I know I'm in the job now similarly, and I know the hard work it takes to keep going year after year and get positive results. And there was maybe changes you have to make. You reinvent things, you learn yourself, all these things, and I'm sure he's gone through those little processes and he's done it very well.
Of course, there are Frank Lampard and Sean Dyche for the press. Each other, as you'd imagine. Mark Bircham, wanted to ask you about Christian Pulisic, actually. A lot of listeners in the US to this broadcast today. He's the great white hope of American soccer, but has had a tough start to his time at Chelsea. But there are signs, aren't there, that not only is Frank Lampard trusting him more, Team 11 today a case in point, but also he's growing into whatever role he's going to have here at Chelsea.
I think it is, but he needs to produce more, because you look on the subs bench, Callum Hudson-Odoi on the bench, and they think he's the real deal. He's the next Raheem Sterling. When I speak to Frank and other people at Chelsea, last year they think he should have played more before he got the injury. So he needs to start hitting the ground running now. We're away from November. Now he needs to start turning performances, getting goals, getting assists, because there's a lot waiting to come in. As I said, you've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well to maybe fit into that team. With Mason Mount, and there's a conveyor belt of them type of attacking players. So really, you've got to start producing. And I see him in last week as well against Canada, when Canada beat America 2-0, and they said he had a bit of a...
You had to get that in, didn't you? You had to get that in. Sorry, America. I'm so sorry he's brought that up. It's barely relevant when he's mentioned it.
35 years. But no, and he was well in that game. So, as I said, the pressure, he's probably starting today, probably because they had an away Champions League game during the week, and he's rested a few, so this is his chance. Can he grab it with two hands?
Yeah, Chelsea in fantastic form right now. 6 successive games in all competitions they have won, 4th in the Premier League. Should they win this one for the first time in more than a year? Quickly on Burnley as well, talking of young talent, Dwight McNeil. Every time I see this guy, I think he's very, very impressive. And he seems to be one of the first names on the team sheet currently for Sean Dyche as well. What do you make of him?
Speaking to Dyche as well, what he brings is work rate. He's not like your typical winger where he's going to cut in on his stronger foot. He's up and down, he gets crosses in. And what just important without the ball as in the ball for Sean Dyche, because he knows McNeil will track back, he'll stay in formation, it'll be disciplined, but he, as I said, 100% energy the whole game.
If you want to play for a Sean Dyche side, work rate is something you need to give, and that's what they'll need to give today collectively if they're to get something against high-flying Chelsea. The players are in the tunnel. We're just a few short minutes away from kickoff in our final game of Saturday in game week 10 of this season. Stick around, what a game we have for you. It's Premier League Live.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 on TalkSport.
We'd like to build the world a bar and furnish it with cocktail bees and fountains of homebrew. Whiskey sour at happy hour, a magnum of folly.
TalkSport.
Spitspot.
It's a classic afternoon radio emission from the other side. Hawksby and Jacobs deceased. After a joke about Chelsea went catastrophically wrong and died, Andy Jacobs was transported to a parallel London netherworld.
Only you can hear me, Paul. Only you.
Only me and 3 million listeners, Andy.
Banished to spend eternity wearing white suits, unearthing spectacularly big-named interviews, and bringing a spectral dimension to radio entertainment.
And occasionally materialising in ladies' changing rooms.
That was a genuine mistake. I thought it was the kebab shop next door.
Investigate the annals of Hawksby and Jacobs deceased. Weekday afternoons from 1.
I've gone. What does it matter?
On TalkSport.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
This is the time of the year where you've got to have your horses right.
Weekday mornings from 6
And you backed them on the nose.
on TalkSport.
I'm Sam Matterface, and this is Game Day. TalkSport has your weekend covered as we give you a series of exclusive podcasts bringing you total coverage of the Premier League with a trio of top podcasts. On Thursday, myself and a legendary lineup of pros and pundits will preview the action to all 10 Premier League matches.
On Saturday, it's Your Verdict with me, Laura Woods, and Adrian Durham, bringing you all the reaction and the very best in it.
On Monday morning, it's the turn of the record book with me, Danny Kelly. I'll be joined by the very best guests as we look back at all the weekend's action, going down the odd tangent as well.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast, Monday morning from 6 on TalkSport.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My, oh my, what a beautiful day. Folly and horses coming my way. Only 4 hours, magical play.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast.
Hospitality knocks for Alan Brazil.
Monday morning from 6 on TalkSport.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Burnley against Chelsea from Turf Moor. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Queen's Park Rangers, Millwall, and he'll be quick to remind you, Canada midfielder Mark Bircham. Sorry, fans listening in the USA, he might gloat about it. This is Premier League Live, and the sun is just setting on what's been a drizzly day in the UK. Weirdly, the best weather has been in Burnley. That might be the first and only time that sentence has ever been uttered. What a